Dạ, trước khi bắt đầu thì con xin mời các vị Phật tử nào mà không hiểu tiếng Anh á, thì xin qua bên đây để nghe thông dịch. So for our Vietnamese speaking friends who might not understand English, please come to my left side for translation. Dạ, bên đây bác Túc bên đây. And we invite the children to go outside for activities so that we have enough time for adults' questions and answers. Thank you.
So, dear Thầy, dear Sangha, can you hear me well? Today is Sunday, August the 16th, year 2015, and we are in the Great Togetherness Meditation Hall at Plum Monastery. And I think that may be the last day mindfulness until we start our US tour, which is on August 31st. I'm not sure we have some Vietnamese speaking people, and they have a translation. So usually we invite you to ask your question of a heart, something concrete. Try not to ask too much about theory, about the cosmos or something, because this kind of thing you can refer in Wikipedia. So just ask something close to your heart, close to your daily life, on a real life. And so maybe we have 4 on the panel. Maybe I start by introducing the panel first. Yeah. On the far right is Sister Hai Eng, Sister Ocean. She's from Canada. Various parts of Canada, Toronto, Hamilton, even Ottawa and Montreal sometimes. We did have a trip in Canada together at the beginning of the year. And next to her is Sister Nghiem, Sister Gioi. She's a big sister, Dharma teacher, had been quite a long time at the Plum Monastery. And on my left is Brother Phap from Vietnam, and I think he's a very good cook and very good singer. If you get the chance, you can listen to him sing very well. And last, my name is Brother Phap Khong, that means Dharma emptiness. So since we are four in a panel, I suggest maybe we can start with maybe 5 questions. And so if you would like, you can raise your hand and somebody will bring a microphone to you as you can ask a question. And a good question doesn't need to be long, it can be concise and sharp. So we take all 5 questions, somebody will write on the board, and then we take turn to answer them all.
I have a child that has low self-esteem and anger issues. Is there a way you recommend that I can help him?
Dear Thai Dusanga, I'd be curious to hear reflections on informal mindful pauses through the day, some of the techniques or practices that you found helpful for informal mindful pauses.
Can you say louder, like formal something?
I'd be curious your reflections on informal mindful pauses during the day, practices that you found helpful.
Hi. I'm curious to know what you do when you experience a deep fear of losing a loved one.
Hello. I have a question about stage fright. What do you recommend for stage fright?
Hello. I was wondering if you could share with us the best practice for setting motivation before a mindful practice.
Okay, so dear friend, we have all 5 questions. Number 1 is how to deal with low self-esteem and anger. And number 2 is how we can practice stopping or informal posing during daily life. And number 3, how to deal with fear of losing loved ones. And number 4, how to deal with stage fright. And number 5, how to motivate oneself for sitting meditation mindfulness. I think there was something, a word patience, I'm not sure. Did you intend to? Intention. Okay.
Dear respected Thai, our teacher, dear beloved community, as the youngest I get to go first. And I would like to jump right into question number 3 about fear of losing our loved ones. I guess I don't have so much fear anymore because I have lost a number of loved ones. So I just like to share my reflections on the situation that we all face. And the first thing that I wanted to share is, especially the gift I saw in my mother's death was how grateful I am to have had and to still have a good relationship with her. So, good relationships, resolving conflict, doing our best to be caring towards one another is a great way of not having to deal with the regret. Fear of regret is, I think, a big part of fear. Whether it's not having spent a lot of time or having let petty arguments build up. Sometimes we can't resolve everything with everyone, but if we do our best, then, and we accept ourselves doing our best, then it can go a long way. And you know, when my mother died, I had asked to become an aspirant, so I was already spending a lot of time at Plum Village getting ready to become a nun. And I had heard a lot of teachings about no birth and no death, and the ultimate dimension and continuations that were very beautiful. But when it came down to it, there was still just the basic animal fear. I wonder if it's the fan. Okay. There is something I think very instinctual, and if a fear is coming up, if a difficulty like that is coming up, I saw that trying to intellectualize my way out of it with the Dharma wasn't helpful, even though I tried to do it. But the practice of embracing whatever is present is what helped me before and after my mother's passing, which is the most recent that I've gone through. So the practice, the basic practice of mindfulness in every day, this cultivation of pure awareness of what's going on right here and now, really does, my experience is, it really does feed setting a foundation that when challenge comes, it's not so much that we have to learn something new, but there's already a strength built up. And we can't force ourselves to transcend our fear in one moment. But if bit by bit we've cultivated steadiness and joyfulness in ourselves, then it's just gentler to face the difficult emotions, and especially around death. There are also specific meditations around visualizing one's own death and one's body decaying. Actually, the Buddha gave these practices that sound, for some people, very morbid, but actually I found them very freeing. So if you're ever up for that, because often the fear of someone else's death is the fear of the pain we will face when they go, and the fear of our own death being forefront when normally we just don't think about it. So also facing one's own fear of one's own death can go a long way to facing the fear we feel around someone else's death. Because I had also gone through serious illness, I saw that time of facing my own mortality also helped me facing the fear of my mother's death. So I can't share just one thing, but everyone that I've spoken to goes through these things differently, but to try different paths, different things, and whatever calls to you. But for me, the basics are to receive the teachings, but then to not sort of give a guilt trip to myself if I'm not able to practice all of them and put them into place when the difficult emotions arise. Acceptance of the fear, and facing one's fear of one's own death is what I can share has helped me, and a lot of patience, a lot of patience and generosity and compassion to oneself. So often I've seen in myself and others that we can get caught up in painful emotions that we think are about other people. I know my last relationship before I became a nun, I was so scared of hurting my partner by breaking up, but actually it was my fear of my own pain at the thought of hurting someone else. And of course we want to be sensitive to others, and the fear of losing someone else is not to say that we don't care about others, but that if it really hurts, it's because it's something that's in us. Even though it might feel more selfless or just how we've been conditioned to think about the feelings of others, but actually if we're feeling it, it's our own feeling. And many times I've seen myself resist this and try to think that I'm just caring about someone else, but actually it's just another way of avoiding my own suffering. So that's something maybe to look into. And of course, suffering is uncomfortable, so that's why we don't want to go into it. But the Buddha taught us so clearly that the way out is in. So there's a lot of freedom to be found by going in. And the song "Wade in the Water," it's a spiritual. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water, God's gonna trouble the water. I had this insight one day. I don't think that's what it was written about. It has so many connotations. It's a beautiful song. I think it was much more about slaves escaping from slavery and guiding people. But that phrase of wade into the water, go in, and somehow miraculously you'll get through, I realized also is a Dharma message. It's a Dharma door. And it looks like it's the scariest place to go into, and that you'll never get through, but actually there's no other way to freedom. This isn't like historically accurate, it's just my own relationship because it's a important song in my life. So I just offer that image of even if the the waters look impossible to go in, that fear looks impossible to go into, that actually it is the path to freedom from my experience. Little bits of freedom so far. Thank you.
Dear family, if it's possible, please turn off your cell phone. It might interfere with the sound system. Thank you.
Testing. So dear Thầy, dear brothers and sisters, and dear community, right now, while I'm sitting here, I feel very nervous. And I just come back Plum, Blue Cliff, almost 1 month. So quite a long time I didn't speak English. So now is the chance for me to practice English again. And I would like to answer the question number 2. How can we practice stopping during daily life? This is the big question for me before, because I feel that I'm running a lot. I run away from myself, from my body and mind. So I just focus into something that I feel happy, but maybe that is negative energy. But I believe that what can bring me happiness, I feel happiness, I just focus on that. But maybe before I have habit energies to get online and play game before. So when I play game, I feel very happy because it can bring happiness to me. But that is negative energy. So after I practice some basic practice in Plum Village, I really like the practice of breathing, because when I breathing in and breathing out, I really get in touch with the daily life, because life becomes real at this moment after I follow my in breath and out breath. Then I feel the energy is up, running out, don't happen anymore. And when I eating in silence, that is one of practice that I like, because 20 minutes of eating in silence, I really get in touch with myself. So before I had an energy to talk a lot during I'm eating, But there was a one time, brother and sisters from Plum Village gave a retreat in Vietnam that I have a chance to join. The first time I practiced eating in silence, it's become like a miracle, because the first time I don't believe that I can eat in silence before just eating and talking at the same time. So after practice eating in silence, I feel that my mind can come back to my body. During eating, I chew several times before swallow, and I really get in touch with the taste of the food and the gratitude of the people who helped to cook for today, can offer the meal for me. And I know that if we cook with love, the taste very sweet and very delicious. So that's why when first time I eat it in silence, it really get in touch with me, and myself cry because it's become miracle. Even the food very simple, but just stopping, stop talking, stop thinking, my mind can come back to my body in the present moment. This become precious gift for me at the first time. So when you come to Blue Cliff every Sunday or Thursday, I believe that you have a chance to practice stopping. Like this morning when we do walking meditation, that is one of practice of stopping. Get in touch with our step on the ground, on the Mother Earth, with love and careness, a lot of compassion. When we practice like that, the positive energies in us will arise in us. So when we just practice very simple like that, but we can benefit a lot of benefit from our practice, and with the energy, collective energies of the Sangha, can bring compassion, love, understanding to us. So just walking or eating, we can get in touch with stopping every day. I just wonder about when we eating, we think that we eat it in silence, but in fact, in our thoughts still talking. Silent outside, but talking inside. So that is not stopping. We really get in touch with the silent in meal. That is stopping. So for me, before when I practice, very simple. I think that just stop talking in silence, that is my practice. But just a half practice. We have to do more and more and deeper. Stop thinking inside. Even we don't eat it in silence, we can eat in with talking, but we be aware that we are eating in silence in our mind. So if you come to Blue Cliff many times from now and the future, I give the suggestion that don't practice stopping with many practicing, Just choose one practice or two practices. Just follow our practice like that. We don't collect many methods of practice, but in fact, we don't get in touch with any practices. Just to choose one or two practices for us practice for day of mindfulness. And for example, we do walk in meditation, try to get in touch with the nature. And we bring our practice at home. Don't wait until the other Sunday we practice again. So that's why in Plum Village we practice every day. In every day, yeah. Don't waste your time. So that is some experience of me want to share with you. And of course, we still have many practices. You can ask brothers and sisters share with you. Don't be shy because we're very open. Just come and ask. We will offer some guideline for you practice at home. Thank you.
So, dear Thầy, dear friends, I'd like to try to answer question number 1, how to deal with low self-esteem and anger. And also it touched a little bit of question number 4, how to deal with stage fright. Basically, we talk about the image of self. Each of us has an image of self that we want to nurture, nourish, and protect. And we each carry to a certain degree back from our very childhood. Because I remember when I was young, and many parents do that, as a Vietnamese family, we put the child up in a stage, something, sing something, or say something, and we are very young. We say something stupid, and people laugh at us. And I think each time we do something like that, the child got retrenched a little bit and become shy. Because I remember children usually are very natural, very bold and courageous. But after a few times when they put on stage by some adult and being mocked, being laughed at, they become shyer and shyer. Sometimes they've been scolded, they've been so in the practice Plum Village, we really practice respecting every child. We treat them with respect. Sometimes we have a greeting. We say a lotus flower for the Buddha to be. So maybe the child or the teenage or somebody might not know the practice enough, but also they have a potential. We all have a potential to become enlightened. So to me, I remember I think I'm now probably the oldest monastic here at Blue Cliff. But in my mind, I was always the youngest because I'm the youngest in the family. And also for many years when I was growing up, I also have a stage fright. Afraid to come in public and say something because I have a memory of say something not right and then somebody laugh or mock at me kind of thing, back from the memory of childhood. So a lot of time when we have an image of a low self-esteem, afraid how people judge us, or things like that, it's really based from a wounded of a child. Sometimes it become at a very early age, and we don't pay attention, we don't notice them. So we have a few sessions we do. It either deep looking, guided meditation, deep relaxation, touching the earth. That sometimes we slowly bring those negative emotion feelings and embrace the wounded child and transform them. I think often we thought that we have some expectation, but actually we also carry the expectation from others, especially the expectation of the adult, the parents, the grandparents, and so on. And we are afraid that we don't perform up to the measure of what the expectation is. And even after the parents or the grandparent or the adult are no longer there, it becomes our own expectation. So sometimes we perform, we do something, whether we sing a song or we address something in public, we are afraid how people judge us. Am I good enough? Have I practiced enough? For example, the monastic, many of them are very young, and they become monks and nuns at a very young age. So they don't have a lot of experience in life, for example. So to share in front of the public, many people are afraid. They say, well, there might be a professor of sociology or something, and I don't even have education and things like that. But the thing is, when we share from our heart, we share from our experience in the practice. So maybe for young monks and nuns, we might not have education, we might not have experience, being married, have children, but we learn from other people, and we learn from our own practice. So that's what if we can share about, like Phap share about stopping and following our breath, have a mindful step, those that we are trained to do every day. And after a few years, we should have experience in that, in sharing. So when we share in front of the public, often we only have an idea of just us. I mean, me, one person. But actually, we are influenced and made up from many other elements. So let's say when I'm sharing in front of you, I share with the Sangha, the group of monks and nuns behind, and everything I learned from my elder brother, sister, and especially from my teacher and all the spiritual ancestors. So by become a monk, we listen to the teaching year after year, month after month. So we are integrated many of the understanding, many of the loving kindness from our elders, spiritual elders. So when that way, it kind of alleviates that kind of sense that we are being alone, that we have to perform by ourselves in front of audience, kind of thing. And the other one is how you set the standard, you know. Like, let's say I give a Dharma talk 3 months ago, and then next I have to give another Dharma talk. So, and it has to do with ego sometimes. You want to be the better Dharma talk than the next time, kind of thing. So you set yourself a stressful situation by wanting to be more. I think it's you strive to be better. You strive to address the audience, to communicate with the audience, but then you don't have to worry about how people judge, how people think, because the important thing is really you share your heart, and you share your understanding of how you see things. So I think that for me, it kind of helped me to alleviate that point of view, so that I don't have to worry about how people think of me, or how I think of myself too. Because sometimes we are the worst criticism of our own self. So you need to really be kind to ourselves too. So I hope that answered the question about self-esteem. Anger is another aspect of self-esteem. So let's say you're being bullied by somebody in school when you were young or something, or somebody keep putting you down and you have a low self-esteem. So the counter reaction is you become angry. And then you carry that because the seeds of anger are water from various sources. So sometimes, let's say your boss say something unnice to you, and you carry that anger already. You cannot respond to your boss. And then you were driving on the highway, somebody cut you off, and then that tickle your anger kind of thing. So sometimes we've been water many times the seeds of anger, and then when you go home, maybe your loved one or family, maybe your teenage doesn't do his homework kind of thing, and suddenly the anger come up. So sometimes you need to understand that you've been watered the seed of anger from many sources. And the practice of pausing, stopping, that Phap was sharing, help a lot, because it gives you a space, and you step back and look at your anger coming, or whatever that situation that is not to your liking, and you pause and you think about, okay, what are my choices in reacting? So you can choose how you react. But if you don't practice on a daily basis, then you become slave to that strong negative feelings, or sometimes we call mental formations. So the practice of mindfulness on a daily basis help a lot. And also, just like the wheat and the flower in the garden kind of thing, you practice selective watering. So every day you should practice watering the good seeds of loving kindness, of happiness, of joy. So it's not easy for people to water the seeds of anger if you're already being kind and loving and happy with yourself. Then the situation of anger doesn't come as strong as before. Thank you.
Dear teacher, dear Sangha, thank you for bearing with us. I know it's a hot day. I think my brothers and sisters have answered most of the questions. So I'd like to share about question number 5, how to set intentions for mindful practices. For me, it's like when we have taste a fruit, like a mango, or the other day we have jackfruit, and you like it, so you like to continue. So, so when we come to the practice, we have to enjoy the practice first before we feel inspired to continue and to set intention for our practices. In my experience, I also, like Brother Phap have shared, I find one of the practices that I really enjoy, like walking meditation, for instance, and I do that when I come back home, and I try to practice just short distance, like 5 or 10 minutes walk is fine, but I do it regularly enough so that I have incentive to continue. And the other thing is to have flexibility and to be creative and to have friends. I see that sometimes, like, I love to do art, but I have not sit down to do it, you know. I find that it's because, first of all, I need to have a friend or a sister who like to do art so I can sit down and do it together. So I do other things. I enjoy like sewing or, you know, take care of the orchids. So it's like that. So if you want to set intention, try to find a friend that could practice with you, or your family member who can join you in one of the practices, like could be a short sitting meditation or a short walking meditation or a walk in the park or in your backyard even. So that way you can continue. And another thing is to be realistic too, because sometimes I know out there you can be very busy, so it can be very hard to find time for the practice. Let's say we want to do sitting meditation every day, but our schedule doesn't allow us. So in that way, when we are sitting in our car or when we're sitting on the train or on the bus, we can also enjoy our breathing, coming back to ourselves while we're sitting. And that is sitting meditation. So you don't have to just try to narrow it down to when you have all the space to do sitting meditation, walking meditation, or eating meditation. But if you can, then that's wonderful. I know that there are families who have come here and they have bring the practices home. For instance, in the weekend, they can save like a time for lunch where the whole family can sit down together and the children can read the 5 contemplation and they eat quietly for 5 or 10 minutes. And that's enough for keeping the practice going. You don't have to do it every day if you cannot afford to. And you know, set small goals. That's how I practice. For instance, I love to do exercise every day, but you know, sometimes I'm not in the mood for it. So I tell myself, at least if you exercise 3 or 4 times in a week, that's good enough. So, you know, set low expectation, but start small, and then you can have continue. And again, be creative. If we don't want to go to the park and walk very slowly, and then everyone would just like stare at us. I remember there's some retreatant who enjoyed the practice of walking meditation here, and they went to Central Park in New York, and he walked very slow, and then after a while, a policeman approached him and said, "What's wrong with you?" So, you know, you have to be creative, but you know, you don't have to bring what you learn here and try to do exactly the same thing. Like, you can set a mindful bell in your phone or in your iPhone or in your computer or your PC and let it just chime, you know, but you need an earphone or something. Or if not, there's a thing called, there's a timeout program too for PC that you can set in your computer so that it just gives you the time to just close your eyes and not having to continue to work on what you are doing and just stop and breathe. So there are many things that we can do. We don't have to just stay with the original. Of course, you need to learn the original practice in order to really deepening our own practice at first. But once you have tasted and you like it, you can be creative in how you practice when you bring it home. So that's my sharing. Thank you for listening.
Dear respected Thai, dear community, I just noticed, I think in the first question, maybe was it dealing with your son? And I just wanted to mention, having done the team program all last year, a lot of parents would come and say, how can I help my kid with this, help my kid with that? And there was often an energy of also of fear and of wanting to fix someone else. And that's very different from an energy of loving someone and wanting to love them more. And so perhaps just to check in and see if one's care for one's child can come from a place of love and not fear, it's more easily accepted, and it's usually more beneficial for both parties. And then when one practices to take care of one's own self-esteem and one's own anger, it naturally spreads out to those around them. So I just wanted, I think that was already in the answer, but just to make that direct connection to practicing with children. Thank you.
So, dear Thầy, dear friends, I know time is limited because we think all questions have been covered. I thank you very much for asking, I think, those beautiful questions. I think we like to stop now with we sound the bell, and we're going to take a rest. And I think when you hear the bell being invited outside, we can come back to the hall here, and we're going to have a recitation of 14 mindfulness training. Thank you. Do we have